My name is Casey Clark. I'm a second year student at MVCC. My major is biology. My career, I want to go into medical school and become possibly a radiologist, an anesthesiologist, or a cardiologist. After MVCC, I plan to go to SUNY Geneseo and then proceed to go to SUNY Upstate for medical school.
Hi, I am Summer Carbone. I am currently a Utica College student. I transferred there from here, MVCC. I'm majoring there in neuroscience and I'm minoring in chemistry actually. The experience was awesome. It's still something I talk about, and I think the main reason is because, especially I'm realizing more so right now, is every single class that I'm taking now at my four-year college incorporates research in one way, shape, or form. Out of 4 classes, 4 of them have me doing some type of research, whether it's a project or a research paper or a literature review. And I find myself a lot saying to myself, oh man, if I didn't have exposure to that before in the internship program at MVCC, I would have really been completely lost in a lot of circumstances. So I think it was extremely helpful in preparing me, I guess, for my future and for attending a 4-year college as, compared to a 2-year college. So, I really got a lot out of it in terms of learning a lot of skills that I think I came in handy that I need for the future. Again, I would have to say the individual research aspects. I mean, the hands-on stuff was great, don't get me wrong. It was a lot of fun. But when it came to specifics such as having to write a literature review, or even in class time going over graphing techniques, in biological research and that type of thing, all of those things right now are kind of expected of me. And without having, that prior exposure again, I wouldn't have really known as much, I guess, as I do now, so that helped.
My biggest takeaway was that research is important no matter what the results are. I think experimenting and doing labs and studying just doing research is the most important part, and it really provided an experience and an opportunity that I think I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. I think that if I would have tried to apply somewhere else to get the same type of research and opportunity I did here, it wouldn't have happened. But here, it was just amazing to really get the opportunity to work with people and do research that get results and make my mistakes, learn from my mistakes, and use the research and learn how it applies to the real world. My favorite part of the internship experience was definitely the undergraduate research conference. I had a really good time there. It was awesome to see all the work people did, students did. These people were just undergraduate students. They weren't students from med school or anywhere. There were people just like me who were doing research. And I think it was awesome to see that there's so much potential in undergraduates, and the fact that we got to go to lectures and look at other posters, not just ours, and see what other people were doing was just awesome. It was a great time, and it was a great opportunity. It was interesting because I think at the end, when we got to answer the questions, it really tied together all the work that each intern did. I think it really helped us to understand what each other did. I think we really were kind of a little bit confused at what each other were doing. But once we got to the conference and we started presenting it and answering questions, I think it all came together, and we all did a fantastic job of really knowing what each other was doing and know how to apply it to what each of us as individuals did.
Oh, that was awesome too. That was another thing that was really exciting, I think, aside from doing the hands-on stuff at MMRL. That was a whole nother aspect that I didn't ever really think I was gonna get to be part of or experience, I guess, while I was at MVCC. At least I knew that type of thing usually came later on, maybe when you transfer or pursue another degree. But I thought it was awesome. It was, number one, presenting at it as well as just opposed to just attending. I think that was excellent. It showed us how to, work together to put a poster together, a research poster, which again is something I had to do this summer during the fellowship at MMRL, and I'm sure I'm probably going to have to do again in the next 2 years or so at Utica College. So that was nice to learn how to do that type of thing and to acquire those skills, and it was a lot of fun. It was nice to see all the different types of things that students are doing from all of these other colleges within the state. I think it's something that's really important. I feel that should be incorporated early on, especially for those who are interested in it. It's something that I don't think students should be not necessarily held back from, but the earlier the better. I think it was really awesome, and I think I lucked out to be able to be a part of it. It did actually. I enjoyed that part a lot because, again, taking it back to I don't have a lot of friends that are interested in the areas that I am, and again, family-wise, I don't really know anybody or have a relationship with anyone that is, involved in the sciences. So again, mentor-wise, I was in a position where I didn't really have anybody, I guess you could say, to talk to about these kinds of things, or to even draw inspiration from, I guess. So, when we were told your stories, I think it just kind of instilled some confidence in me in a way that, made me feel like this is really hard, yes, but it can be done. Like, these things can be done, especially if you work hard. I mean, hearing all the different things that, you and Doc V have done, if you work hard, you can do well, and opportunities will come to you. So I think it was inspiring, and, it made me feel more capable, I guess, in a way. So it was nice.
That's great.
I thought it was awesome. For me personally, especially because, some of the class sizes at MVCC are really large. So it's difficult sometimes, not to say that, a professor wouldn't be willing to help you if you came to them, but as for, a weekly or daily interaction with a professor on a special project, or in this case, the internship course, I think in a way it was really special. It added on to it, enhanced my experience here at MVCC. And I think it was really important because for the students that are really eager to learn more, especially in the field that they want to go into, or even in the area of education that they're pursuing, for me that was really exciting because, I have questions and I want to talk about things, and it's hard to do that, with your friends if they're not interested in what you're interested in, or to do that at home when none of my family is interested really in science. So I think that was really awesome to be able to kind of have a rapport with your professors and see them as a mentor, not just a teacher. So that was really nice for me. I liked that a lot. And the same with, other students, the students that you're going through this process with. You find other people that have pretty much really close to the same interests as you do, whereas there's so many majors offered, and so many students, it's kind of hard to wade your way through that and to find people that are interested in the things that you are. So it was nice building relationships with them too. I think one of the reasons maybe why it was in the beginning is because, it was a difficult task. I knew I had a lot of work ahead of me. It had to be lengthy, and I knew it was going to be hard, but one of the things I find in retrospect now is it was kind of a kick in the butt in a way, and that's with the classes that I'm taking now, and the experiences I find myself, going through and doing now. I needed that in a way. I needed to be shown what was ahead for me, I guess, education-wise. And also, I think it's something that you probably have to do a lot, if you plan on pursuing, higher education. So having that experience and being able to do it in a setting where I can, it's probably the first time that I had to do one, so I was able to kind of, again, wade my way through that as well, how to do it correctly, to be able to get help on doing it. And again, I have 2 this semester that I need to do, along with 1 that I had to do during the fellowship program this summer. So again, without having that prior exposure to doing that and learning how to do it correctly, I kind of would have had to figure it out myself. So in the beginning, it seemed like a really daunting task, and it was, but it was something in the end that I was really, really proud of. I put a lot of work into it, and it may not have been perfect, and I'm sure it even wasn't close to that, but it gave me experience, and I learned from it. And again, it's just racking up that prior exposure and that experience to be able to do it even better next time, which I have to do twice this year.
Literature review was really interesting. At first, I was completely lost on what I was going to do. It wasn't really like the length of the paper or the fact that we even had to do it. I didn't really mind, because I didn't really have any papers I had to do that semester besides that one. So I really put a lot of time into it, and I didn't understand what I was researching at first, but just reading into it and coming to Professor Miller when she was available, asking her questions, looking things up online, it really helped me to understand what I was doing. And even though it was really hard in the beginning, I almost completely understood it at the end. And
Almost completely.
I think it's really important, the almost part, because I think it's really hard to completely understand something. But it was definitely valuable. I'm glad they made us do it, because it did teach me a lot, and I learned a lot.
I thought, again, I was scared, I'm not gonna lie, but
Scared of what?
I was scared because I didn't know what was coming. I had no experience at all with any of the things that we did during the lab intensive, and I didn't know what to expect, and I knew it was gonna be hard. But again, it's one of those things where in retrospect, you realize that it was so important in everything else you did going forward. We learned a lot of techniques during that 1 week that I ended up using the entire time I actually worked at MMRL throughout the internship and also during the fellowship. And again, they were things that kind of in a way are almost expected of you to already know. So without that, I would have never held a pipette or had any experience with those kinds of things. So I'm really glad that we did that, because I would have been kind of lost in a way when it came to the actual hands-on research stuff at MMRL. And I think it was good too, because it wasn't just the hands-on stuff. It was a lot of the material that we had gone over that we reviewed during that week that may not have been things that students have learned in classes up until that point. Or maybe it was just a refresher. A lot of the stuff for me, I had learned a few semesters back, but, so it was nice to revisit that material, I guess you could say. And again, it helped me as I moved forward with all of my work that I did at MMRL. So it was, in retrospect, it was pretty important.
My least favorite part of the project was probably trying to find time to really work together with Professor Miller to find time that really worked for both of us. It was really difficult to find times, but once we did, we had a great time. We did a lot of research and learned a lot.
Actually, after the internship program ended, I had found out about a summer fellowship program that they offer during the summer where, students will apply from really kind of around the world. And they choose about 12 or 14 every summer. So I ended up applying for that, and I actually got it. So I spent my basically entire summer, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, doing the fellowship at Masonic Medical Research Laboratory, and it was in the molecular genetics department. So I did a lot of work in genetics, and it really helped expose me to, I guess, the inner workings of a research laboratory, because I was there so often. So I wasn't just in molecular genetics, I got to see aspects of every other part of the lab: electrophysiology, stem cells, you know, how they do things, procedures, protocols, all of that type of stuff. You know, was basically every day was consumed with it. So it was a really, really excellent experience. I hope to do it again next year. But yeah, you know, the internship led me there as well. So I think it's pretty awesome. I would have to say, honestly, and it's easier for me now to realize because now I am at a four-year college, and so I kind of compare the two. And I have to say that while, you know, the general science classes that I took here at MVCC in my first 2 years, you know, your chemistry, your physics, they were difficult, they were hard, they were rigorous. But I'm exposed to so many more different things now at a four-year college that I feel if I didn't have the internship course in the spring, I would have been missing that whole component of what I'm doing now at Utica College. I feel like in such a short period of time, whether it was 4 or 5 months that the semester carried on for, that, you know, we had the internship course, there were so many things involved in it that I learned that, again, without that prior exposure, I feel like the whole world of research, which is, you know, where I want my future to take me, I was kind of held back from, in a way. So I feel like it really helped develop those skills that I need for right now before I got to that point. So I feel like it incorporated, in a way, pieces of a four-year college. I feel like it enhanced my educational experience here at a community college.
Well, the internship experience definitely will have an effect in my future. I mean, already when after the project was over and after the research was over, we got to present in front of faculty at MVCC, and it was nice to go there during a little luncheon and have a good time talking about our poster and answering any questions. And I think that was a good time. And also, I think in the future, it's definitely going to help me in future biology classes, chemistry classes. I think it's going to help me apply the knowledge that I learned from this. If I become a researcher or if I become a doctor, I think it's really going to help to show the people that I'm trying to get to accept me into a college or medical school, to show them that I really have experience and I know what I'm doing, and I know that my research done wasn't great, but it definitely helped me to be where I am and be confident with the research I've done, even though I did make mistakes.
Affecting my future, I think it's led me to a lot of great things in terms of relationships and you know, meeting, I guess you could say, connections in a way. I think that'll help me out a lot, and I think it was really important to, you know, be exposed to a research setting early on. I did this in my second year at MVCC. I was still, you know, still an undergraduate, still attending a community college, and, you know, I'm again put in a four-year college now where all of these other students had experience and exposure to these kinds of things within their first and second years of college, where at MVCC this is kind of a new program, so I lucked out there to be able to be exposed to that early on. So I think the more time you have doing these kinds of things and doing research will of course help you, you know, with your future and in the future.
To other students, I think that it's really important to know that this is a great opportunity. Whether you're looking to go to med school, whether you're looking to be a researcher, whether you're looking to be a teacher, anything really, this is a great opportunity. And being an undergraduate doing research is just an amazing opportunity that you really shouldn't pass up, and you almost can't pass it up. And I think that other students should really jump on the opportunity they have right now, because if you get in this internship, you're going to have a great time, and you're going to learn a ton, and if you go to their undergraduate research conference, it's going to be a blast.
I would tell them to do it, number one, because it was an awesome experience, and again, it led to a lot of connections and a lot of relationships, and it was so much fun. But I would tell them, other than trying it out, it's good for experience and exposure. You know, even if you were to take a route that was different than mine, you know, maybe not doing research at Masonic Medical Research Laboratory, but you know, other companies, or you know, doing different things, any type of getting your hands wet with research in any direction, I guess you could say, would definitely, you know, help you broaden your horizons and see what you like. And definitely, I would say, obviously, to work hard, really, you know, take pride in what you're doing and try to enjoy it the best you can, because, you know, all the rest of the time is textbooks and writing and studying. So it, you know, to enjoy it and take pride in it if you're